Okay, it's live streaming. Go ahead.
Hi, so I'm calling the meeting to order. It is March 19, 2025, 7:03 p.m. The president is Juan Luciano, chair.
Charan Perkin, committee member. Harry Santiago, committee member.
Veronica Castro, committee member.
And remotely,
I'm you.
This is the Majd Nasser.
all right? So we're all here. Any objections to accepting the minutes from the last meeting?
Nope.
So let's move on to the first item on the agenda, which is an on-premise new alcoholic beverage license for Gustitos Latino Restaurant located at 2132 Kruger Avenue. So the first question is for Chris Kerika. Chris, can you tell us, in terms of the application, if we have received a complete application?
Okay, the application was received, of course, the 30-day notice, but we haven't received our questionnaire. I notified the representative for the place. I don't know, I see a guy, Herbert, here, but I doubt his name was Herbert. If this gentleman is the representative, then he can speak, because I told him if they cannot make it, they can come and be online.
Oh, no, he's not. He's not.
Carver confirms he's not the
No,
representative.
he's not. So, okay. So I spoke with him yesterday, with representative. I spoke with him today. I say, email me the questionnaire filled up. Among other things, he was saying that, you know, they didn't have the documentation and for the, what's it called? For the certificate of occupancy. I say, okay, so just fill up the questionnaire, send it to me. If we need time for the extra documentation, then you can send them in during the week. He said, okay, no problem. And it was left like that. I took him step by step, how he can get into the meeting, even via online. He says, oh yeah, I got it. And that's how it was left.
By any chance, was the name of the representative Julio Villalobos? Does that sound?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So it was Mr. Villalobos who you spoke with. He said he did not have a certificate of occupancy. And did he indicate when he will have the questionnaire?
I told him as soon as possible to send it to me prior to the meeting, because I spoke with him yesterday also.
So that was, so per your understanding, he was supposed to have that to you before 7 p.m. today?
Correct.
Okay. And I guess he did not have it, right? Because you say he did not have it.
No, sir.
Were you able to contact the police precinct and ask questions about?
Yes, I spoke with Detective Hall after she conferenced with two NCOs that cover the area.
Mhm.
They say that for both items that we have, for both establishments, even for Moist Parking that has applied for the, what's
Right.
it called? For the cafe, sidewalk cafe, even for this place, they say they don't have any issues. The only thing for this place is that the barber next door, with them, they have been having few issues.
Okay, but that has nothing, the barber
It
shop,
has nothing to do with the establishment, exactly, correct.
all right. Chris, did you sense that perhaps Mr. Villalobos did not understand what you were communicating to him?
No, because he said he downloaded even the questionnaire.
Okay,
So
so
he's aware what inclusion.
communicated with him, you didn't get any sense that he did not understand you, right?
Not at all. He spoke very well English. And at the bottom of the questionnaire, it has whatever is requested for them to provide us. A menu, certificate of occupancy, and a diagram of how the place looks like.
One more question for Chris. Do you have any sense as to when this business was established?
No, I cannot say I do. I know that prior to that used to be another Mexican restaurant, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
Let's see if this is.
so there's a hand raised and a phone number. Sorry, can you identify yourself? Phone number beginning with 9178 ending in 66.
You gonna unmute him?
I just sent a request for them to unmute. You want to know *6?
917866, can you unmute?
Chris, do you need to unmute them?
Do I have the meaning how to do that? I'll try it. Hold on.
The person with the hand up, you need to
I
unmute.
send the request again so they
They
can
can't.
unmute themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we sent the request, then they have to do it, but if they don't.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, you got unmuted, whoever it is.
Okay. You can speak now.
Hello?
So the question is, operational hours of this business. And number two is, there's been a lot of drinking, a lot of rowdiness going on in the neighborhood. And, you know, the question is that we already had a lot of incidents already in the neighborhood. And what type of precautions and what type of safety issues we're gonna have now in the community? Because this is gonna create more problems, because it's, my understanding, it's a bar. It's a bar after hours. It's not a restaurant.
We haven't gotten to that
Yeah, we haven't gone to the
point
hours.
yet.
didn't get the application.
Anyone else has any questions or comments from the board, from the committee?
We'll save it
The
for the
thing is,
gallery.
this is a new application. We need to see some things like from the new application before we can move forward. I don't have them in front of us.
Juan, as chair, it's your prerogative if you want to hear from people regarding this now, or if you want to wait for it to be for the gallery.
All right, so let's wait for the gallery session.
Okay.
So, all right, so we're gonna hold off on voting on the liquor license for Gustitos Latino Restaurant. Actually, gallery session is next.
Yeah, let's get it over. Let's get it over. Let's get it over.
Well, before, in my
Yeah.
suggestion, on the new business, we have this.
All
but
right, do you
if
wanna
we
do
wanna
that
hear
now?
from The gallery on this, we should probably move new business up a little bit.
All right, so let's talk about Morris Park indoor dining, the application for that business. So I was able to, I'm sorry,
Oh, man, where is this at?
It's Morris Park and
I'm gonna join.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
And so I was able to look at the application. It seems like a very complete application. I think this business has been around for a
Morris
very long
Park Inn?
time. Yeah.
And I think they do have an outdoor already. Is it the renewal?
Well,
or
there's,
what?
yeah, there's pictures of
People
like
outside.
an outdoor seating. It doesn't look like it's obstructing the, it seems like it's close enough to the business where it's not obstructing. Sorry, how are you, John? It's not obstructing the sidewalk.
I know.
Me personally, I've seen, how you doing? I've seen tables and chairs, the people, they go.
Yeah.
Go walk. It's organized, it's organized.
Yeah, it seems like it's well organized. Chris, do you have any information on this applicant? The Morris Park Inn?
In the meaning of,
Chris, they want to do is for the application, from what I'm looking here, is it an enclosed structure that they want to put outside the inn?
to my understanding, that is whatever is designated by DOT. The DOT nowadays, they have a certain kind of way how to make things happening. You have to follow certain steps.
Yeah.
It's a uniform kind of a outdoors cafe kind of thing.
And this is
You
the
have to-
diagram.
I saw it.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Cause this is supposed to be the inn, and this is, I guess, the cafe, and then this is Morris Park Avenue. So I'm not sure.
I'm,
What I'm looking at, it indicates that they're trying to do a closed cafe outside.
listen, I might be wrong, but was this place shut down at one point? No.
No, never.
It's like a stick out the wall.
It seems,
Huh?
if you look at the application online, it seems like they have two models. One, actually, both models are the same. It's not enclosed. It's like they have a barrier between
Oh, there.
the public, right, the rest of the sidewalk. And then the part where the people are going to be sitting and dining. If you look,
Or something like Homo Mesa Lounge they have, like something like that?
actually even more open than that,
No,
than La Masa.
oh,
There's no covering. No,
okay, there's no cover,
nothing on
alright.
top.
Just open air.
Right, because you see they even have, in the diagram, they even have umbrellas.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's not enclosed.
It's not an enclosed outdoor dining situation. So you mentioned previously, Chris, that you spoke with the precinct and they have no issues with this establishment, correct?
Yes, I don't have no issues whatsoever with them.
And I guess these folks have a liquor license already. They have been operating for a long time, et cetera, correct?
Yes, more than 8 years now.
All right, great. All right, so at this point, I think we should move up forward with the gallery session,
Yeah,
unless anyone from the committee has any other comments. Okay. All right, so first let's discuss Gustitos Latino Restaurant. We heard from the gentleman with the 917866 number. Sir, is there anything else you want to add?
I don't think that's the representative, guys.
I know, we know he isn't.
Oh, okay.
I think he's just a member of the community.
okay, I sent the request.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, basically, we're looking into, there's been a lot of drinking or open container drinking in the past without a license. And that individual has openly stated that, that they want to turn it into a lounge after 7 o'clock. You know, so it's a lounge or is it gonna be a restaurant after 7 o'clock? And my thing is it's a public safety issue and transport. And mind you, the owner has crashed their car already. You know, so we're just looking at everything from a public safety issue. We already had another restaurant already having public safety issues down the block. Is there
Understood.
security being provided at this bar? You know, because it's supposed to be a bar after 6 o'clock.
After
And
7?
I heard it from the owner. Yeah, she said it straight up. She's not selling no more hot food after 7 o'clock. She's gonna turn it into a bar.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Legal, do you have anything that you want to add?
Yes, unfortunately, they didn't have it noticed around the store as required to notify the community that they're applying for a new liquor license. And unfortunately, here it's TV 11 really sent out any notice as well. I just happened to read the agenda and noticed that it's a restaurant that's near my area where I live by. And I posted on my social media page and I did receive some feedback. Some said their food was good, but then I also received some bad feedback. And I'm glad Chris mentioned the barbershop because there was a restaurant. It's right next door to the restaurant. Now, I would mention this because you have to look at the whole context. It's also not far away from school. At the corner, PS 105 is the back end, where the playground where they're extending another middle school. It's gonna be an annex, so it's gonna have both entrances open eventually.
Can I ask you something? The feedback that you heard from individuals on your social media feed, they said the food was good. The bad was what?
Well, the main thing is, and that happened to a nearby place, Barnes. I also asked for a liquor license. They thought it's selling to a minor. This one.
No, but this specifically, yes.
Let me finish. I'm trying
Okay.
to give you the whole neighborhood, so you probably don't live.
I know, but
It's the fact is that they have been seen serving alcohol on premise.
okay.
I don't know if they charge or they give it free, but they have been seen serving alcohol on premise, and more importantly, it's been mentioned that they will be running basically a bar at night. So my request on behalf of the community, because there are some people who are fearful, but I received several direct messages from several people that live in Pelham Parkway saying that they already heard that it's gonna be turned into a bar at night. If we could have a stipulation, because for their website, their operating hours, closing hours is 10 p.m. Just like Kirby, but nonetheless, it's a very residential area. There's school, mom and pop stores still remaining, all residential Kruger. We already have issues with the bar and the unlicensed mystery. So if we could have maybe a stipulation where they will not be open till after 10 p.m. because that's their operating hours that's their official operating hours on the website. So if they provide with the documentation, they don't want to deny their application, you can at least have stipulation done because it's a residential area. And we do not want a bar over there at night.
Yeah, the question is how binding would that be, right? They could say to us, yeah, we'll close at 10, and then they close at 11.
Well, if they sign stipulation and they close at 11 as opposed to what they signed to, they're in violation, and that would be something that's eligible to address.
But we're not
Can we enforce when somebody?
That's what I'm saying.
We can-
We're not the liquor authority.
We can't, we could advise SLA that we signed them with a stipulation, whether or not SLA will act on it is up to SLA.
Mhm.
But we can advise them that we have, we are approving them or basically not objecting to it with the stipulation, if that's the course we decide to take. But again, it's up to SLA to actually enforce that if we advise them that they've broken the stipulation.
You're not gonna go for that, though.
But they're also not here the moment to agree to that stipulation.
It's a new applicant, so we need them.
Yeah.
The SLA enforces, if they have valid complaints, they do follow up. They have follow up on different stores on Pelham Parkway. Well, we mentioned the exact store names.
Has anyone mentioned to the 49 precinct that these allegations have
Well,
been?
unfortunately, due to the fact that I saw the agenda less than a day and a half, that I do work in the mornings, I did not have a chance to contact 49 Creek, I will do.
Yeah,
so.
but,
I came here because I wanted to bring up the feedback from the community, because again, they did not put the notice notifying the community that they're applying for a new liquor license, for a new,
so
that's important to get feedback from neighbors nearby.
I guess, yeah. I
It's
understand.
mandated by law, because that's how, one of the, and then they have to notify, the second step, they have to notify, give the community board 11 30-day notice. That
I'm
they
sorry,
did.
can I ask you one question? Did you personally, or anyone that you know, or anyone indicate to you that they went by the establishment and did not see the notice?
No, I was there, this yesterday, I took
You
pictures.
personally went, you took pictures, you saw no notice. I trust you, if you say you did,
There's no
oh, what are you?
There is no notice. And I'll
Sorry,
show you
I
the
like
picture
to
I
trick
took
you out.
yesterday.
You know what, I think we're gonna have to enforce that.
They have to, because if
No, that's a good thing,
that's
that's a good
because
thing.
SL requires that so the community can have input. Because the only person that knows that the people that live next door, above the door, people that actually live on that same block will know everything that goes on there. And due to the limited notice I gave on social media, less than 24 hours, I received lots of feedback. And unfortunately, the feedback was they heard from employees or owners that they would have the intention of turning that a bar at night.
Understood.
And we don't, and the only way to avoid that is if they agree to a stipulation. Now, regarding enforce, I don't expect Stephen Levitt to do enforce, and that's NYPD and SLA. But for them to agree to it, because we're not asking them to close earlier. Their own website, they close at 10 p.m. We're not asking them to
I
close at 8
understand.
p.m., 6 p.m., 4 p.m. But to make sure that they're not going to do a bait and switch.
They're gonna be in switch.
I know, but I'm
Because
just,
you know why I'm telling you they're gonna be in switch? Because I know about this business,
I know,
liquor bars don't close at 10 o'clock. They
agree.
close 1, 2, 3 o'clock. in the
Once they sign the stipulation, they're in
Yeah,
violation.
exactly, that's different.
And
but-
I don't expect you guys to do anything else. I and my community will look forward to reporting that if that happens.
I
The
understand.
board does have a role in advisory opinion, but again, I don't even think they should go to step one and notify community rightfully and post that notice as a part.
Well, I mean, I feel like at this time, we have an incomplete application, so I think, you know, like if you go to step one, right? Before we get to, okay, the negative feedback from the community, the complaints from the community, that's sort of like the next step after we have a complete application. And then if we see that we have a partner on the other side that is cooperating and communicating with the community board, then we can get into a stipulation. But that's like step three. We
Well,
haven't even gotten
well,
past step one.
We're not step, because unfortunately, due to no fault of the community, they then follow step one and complete the application.
Right,
Or did they provide the notice and
Yeah.
provide the update? And we can't say, skip the step, we'll say that they're not, abide by step one. But community input regardless of step 1, 3, or 5 or final, community input is very important in making decisions, is it not?
I got a question. Whose job is it to put something before the establishment saying that we're gonna have a meeting to talk about this for liquor license?
No, I think they're supposed to, I think that the notice that Ms. Delgado is referring to is a notice that lets the community know
Yes.
that they are applying for a
Who
liquor
puts that
license.
notice?
They are.
The applicant is supposed to,
And
I think
they don't
it's
want
according
that.
to
They don't want that.
SLA, they're supposed to alert the
You know
neighbor.
what? I'm gonna make it my business. The next
Right,
time
because-
somebody comes to the liquor license, I'm gonna go by the establishment to
Exactly.
see if they have something on that.
Well, I think we can also require as part of the application process that they send us proof that they.
So just drive by. It's not a big deal.
Just drive by like I did. I took a picture. Chris, I'll show you right now. I took a picture of the, this was posted in the front of their door, in front of their front, window.
Chris, we have 30 days from the date we received it, which would be March 3rd, or from the date that's on the application, which would be February 26th.
I on the day that we receive it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have until
Right in the door.
April 2nd.
On this side.
Yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Gallus, we believe you. If you see it in the picture, you're not gonna make that up.
Believe me, is that we have to look at evidence when we
I
do
get it,
something.
but
Okay.
That's all.
I can gauge credibility.
So
If you say you did something, you're not gonna make a fool of yourself. I trust that you did it.
I love your advice.
we have,
Anyone else has any comments in the gallery?
Chris, can we ask for an extension on this or no? I forget if SLA gives extensions.
I don't think SLA gives extensions.
They don't.
Okay.
You gotta
So-
find there.
This is our dilemma. If we table it, we're gonna meet after the 30 days has passed. If we want, we can try and meet before the full board meeting if they provide the application.
I think
The
that. there could
questionnaire is
be-
fine,
There's
say no.
another option.
And what's that?
Well, hopefully they'll have a complete application between now and the board meeting, and then we just present it to the board. Right.
Well, usually the committee has to vote on it before it goes to the board. We have to give a referral to it.
But I think that's.
It's easier when it's a renewal because
I know.
we know the.
Yeah, thank you.
this is-
How about a letter of objection?
No, that's an option.
Yeah.
That's an option.
Yeah, I would say.
based
Right,
on
and then, by the way, we can present it to the board anyway, and if they have, if the answer to these questions are, they provide a full application, and then they agree
next
to
week.
the STIP or whatever it is,
So we could change.
like, we could we could change. it.
How about a letter of objection? It'll go to the legal authority. They're gonna say why they objected. They're gonna find out. They're gonna say.
Well, if we're gonna send a letter of rejection, because this is a different circumstance, maybe we put in it that due to concerns by the community or Chris,
Well, but I mean, it feels that, they did not
Provide the right stuff.
provide a full application.
right,
It also feels, or it seems from what Mr. Gallo said and the pictures she saw to Harry,
This person.
that, and the individual here, that they did not comply with SLA regulations, right? Because they didn't post a notice, so that's two strikes.
Mhm.
Then there is the complaints from the community, right?
3.
That's a lot of reasons,
okay.
I don't know what happens next. Do they appeal that? Do they come back? Right?
But we're just a referral, so the
Right.
FLA can go by what we say, or they
Right.
could just give them the license.
Right, they can also take our letter of objection, see the reasons why we're objecting. If they rectify those things when they go to SLA, then SLA might very well grant them a license. I just feel like I don't know, I can't tell anyone how to vote. I feel I cannot in good conscience vote for someone that A, does not have a complete application, B, did not comply with SLA regulations, right? C, the community is complaining about it.
And
Right.
4, they're not.
And Chris asked them to,
We're on your side.
yeah, Chris asked them to appear.
And he
Right,
didn't.
and they're not,
They're not
they did
here.
not appear, so we can't really even agree to a stipulation or anything I don't understand.
So can I
Well,
motion
here's
to-
here's
Yeah,
another
just key on
option,
the,
I think.
spot.
We say letter of objection, but we're not gonna act on it until the full board. So if by that time they rectify it, then the board, we could say, hey, they rectified it. They responded to us, maybe they'll even show up to the full board meeting, and then we don't have to send the objection. So
Right.
we
We have
don't
to
do
vote
it
on it here.
now,
Yeah.
we're not gonna act on it.
But we have to vote here.
Yes, we're
Yeah,
vote here,
so
but we
our
don't act on
referral
it.
to the full board would be.
No, we have a letter of objection.
Should they, I haven't made a motion. And should they show up, give us the proper stuff before the full board, we still have to go through with our motion unless we withdraw the motion.
But I can also, I can change the motion.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can withdraw
yeah.
the motion at
Yeah.
that
Say
point.
they,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
They're
can
good now.
withdraw it and then you could, if you feel that,
Yeah, but the full board's gonna ask one, why you sending a letter of objection?
Yeah, I'll do the
They can let
same
them
thing.
know blah, blah, blah.
they might turn.
He's absolutely- He's absolutely right. I would, if he says, yeah, good, not kosher, we're not doing it.
But when I present to the full board, I'm just presenting. And I usually I do all the good, I do all the bad, I answer all the questions, and I'm just presenting. I don't,
he,
I don't really take a.
There's no-
he's not biased one way
No,
or the
there's no
other.
good here, there's no good.
He's totally, objective to everything, which is fine. So we're not gonna make a motion until after we've heard from
Okay.
Complete Gallery, because that's how it's listed here.
Awful.
Everybody-
That's right. You have key on there.
All right, Mar Gallery.
So,
You have key on there.
Okay, can you, I'm sorry.
okay, I sent a request for you to unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I have to agree with Roxanne. I had a patient that lived in the building next door. I haven't worked with him in almost a year. There's a building next door and then there's the school. So it's in relative proximity, to all that. And I used to hear from people, and I still have friends that live in the area and stuff, and they do complain about a lot of illicit activity in the area already. So if these people don't seem to be doing the right thing in their application process, they're not being forthcoming, I don't know if that area really could sustain another, opportunity for people to hang out at night and just maybe not do the right things. I don't want to judge anybody, but somehow alcohol added to the mix, just, there's a bar right up the street from there that has had issues over the years that it's been there. So it's just maybe not the best thing. There was no problem. It was just a little restaurant when it first opened, but I'm not hearing good things at this time. So I agree with Roxanne. I think that, maybe a process should be had first. Let them finish the application process. Let them appear. It doesn't, for some reason, it just doesn't strike me right that they didn't take the time to attend this meeting in person or online. Hopefully they'll show up to the full board, but it just doesn't sound right to me. It sounds kind of shady, this establishment. So that's just my 2 cents.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And just for a little bit of clarification, they gave us the 30-day application. We're waiting for the questionnaire. I just want to make sure it's clear. So we're not saying they didn't send us the application. We're waiting for the questionnaire.
Right, but that's part of our application.
This is not. This is.
No,
the
the questionnaire.
questionnaire, which gives
everything
us all
else,
the
right.
information that we need to review. That's what we're missing. That's what we asked them to send in. Yeah, and then that on the questionnaire tells them what other information we need, what other documents.
Excellent.
And also, we looked at the school, and just for informational purpose only, not because I am citing one way or the other. It looks like it's more than 200 feet from the school.
It is.
So, and
But I think that
I don't-
what Ms. Cardona said that makes sense is that if they can't do these basic things, then it really doesn't.
right, it doesn't give us much
Yeah.
confidence in them. No, that I totally understand.
Anyone else from the gallery? Okay, so let's,
I gotta say something though. If we not approve anything here or disapprove, what is it?
that's true.
Yeah.
I've been here for this economics for a long time. People go and get it approved,
Well, no matter what.
no matter. what.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, we have some valid point
But the
that we
community
can
will never
object
have
to.
to focus on their part. Then other people focus on SLL.
No, we
And
do
then we'll
focus,
focus- I'm like-
focus.
There's some,
Okay.
like the Barnes Grocery, they did not give them the liquor license. The community board 11 voted against it. Then we followed with them. They did not give them the liquor license. It's just that we have to be proactive. People don't do anything. Of course, they're going to rubber stamp it. But if they bring up community concerns, then that can change it.
Can we vote on this particular premise now individually and then move to Morris Park?
Was this for the gallery session completely?
Yeah.
It's complete together.
So that's it, the gallery.
Yeah, the gallery
we
session.
Considered over, right?
Yes.
Okay, then we should,
Wait, I'm sorry. As to this particular business?
No.
Oh,
just gallery session
in general.
in general. 'cause
All right, so then let me, before we close the gallery session, does anyone from the gallery have any comments in relation to Morris Park in outdoor dining application? Okay,
Okay, can I mute yourself? I think the caller put his hand up again, so we make.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
So
sorry.
we'll go to Keith first and then the caller. Okay,
Hi, can you hear me?
yes.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude on the other person's time. I
No,
live in the area of the Morris Park and I pass by there frequently. I've dined there. I attended a fundraiser there. They're usually like very respectful of the community. I didn't see the like drawings that you have, but the outdoor setup that they normally have is just like a couple of chairs and a couple of tables. It's really not a big deal. I don't know, it's usually on the Morris Park side. I think the cross section is Paulding, if I'm not mistaken. So are they planning on doing it on the Morris Park side or the Paulding side?
Seems like, Morris Park.
All right, so this is not gonna be enclosed, because there really isn't that much space there for that. And the only thing I remember seeing is something like a plant stand as a barrier. It's not a big
Right.
thing. It's like maybe 3-4 feet tall, and you could probably put plants on the top of it or something. So it's really not obstructive or obtrusive
Correct.
and stuff. So are they planning on like expanding?
No, it seems like it's just what you described along the side of the sidewalk on Morris Park.
Yeah, well, I've never seen any issues like anybody inebriated and out of control daytime, nighttime. So I happen to like the place. I would hate to see, any problems there, but no, as far as like I'm concerned, I think they're a good business. It's just my 2 cents. Anyway, I'll be quiet now and let the other gentleman speak. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kay.
Sir? 91786. We won't have.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, the Morris Park Inn has been fine. I haven't had no issues. I know a lot of guys from the cigar shop, very respectful. JP's very respectful over there. Nothing. As far as Guticos, the only thing is, maybe I'm going back and I'm gonna close it out. I'm not circling back into Guticos. There's a real bad conflict of interest with that restaurant also because she has her hands in NYPD. NYPD has been giving her free parking passes, a lot of stuff going on. So enforcement practices are going to be very rough in there.
Got it.
Wrap it up. Thank you.
All right, so then now we can close the gallery session.
Yeah.
Motions. You want to do the motion for Gustitos?
So for Cristitos, I make a motion that we send a letter of no objection to the State Liquor Authority. I'm sorry, objection, sorry, thank you for the correction. A letter, an email of objection to the State Liquor Authority based on the concerns we've heard here tonight and the non-appearance of the applicant.
A second.
Any objection to the motion? Anyone abstaining? All right, so the motion passes. So, sorry. All right. Now, as to the Morris Park outdoor dining application, I move that we send a letter of no objection to,
I second that.
I guess, to the New York City Department of
Transportation.
Yeah. Second by Prado.
I think in that questionnaire that they have for feedback, I think the only thing, right, I just remember now when I read it, I think the only thing we need to send to them feedback is if we have an objection to it or if we have no objection with considerations or stipulations. So if we have no objection to it, I think
Then we don't need to
we
say,
don't have to send them.
all right, we still have to present it to the board.
Yes.
All right, so.
They were well prepared.
Any objections to the motion? Any abstention? All right, the motion passes. So, I'm trying to get this right. Morris. All right, let me just move on. So let's move on to any old business. We just conducted the new business. So unless there's anything else, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Quick question. This is Chris. I'm sorry. Should I pursue the representative to still send me the questionnaire, even though that we objected, or how you want to do it?
Yeah, if they send it before the full board, we can,
Right, and how
We change the motion.
Yeah, we could change the motion or present, I would present everything, right? So if they, A, address the complaints from the community, B, submit the questionnaire and the certificate of occupancy, you know, and somehow comply with the notice provision, I'll present that to the full board, and then the full board can decide to do one thing or the other, or, you know, we can change the motion if we agree to that.
So I
You
should
should
mention,
also,
I should mention to the representatives, besides the questionnaire, we need proof of them placing out in the public, or at least post on the front door of the business that they are applying for a new liquor license. And should I mention at all about how the voting happened today and what was the reason?
Sure.
think
Yeah.
so, yes.
I think that the ship has sailed in terms of the notice provision, because I think that had to also be done in conjunction with this application. But, you know, perhaps they did and the sign fell off when Mr. Gonzalez stopped by.
Right?
I
Never know.
don't know.
Let's be realistic.
I'm just saying, I want to hear from them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
Chris, I got a question for you. When they submit these applications for renewal or new liquor license, do you tell them they have to put something on the door that we're gonna have this meeting about this?
That's not Chris's thing.
It's not our role, it's not our
Mention it to
authority.
them? I'm just saying, did he mention
No.
it to them?
Chris, do you? You don't.
No.
mention it.
It's not our role, it's not our authority to ask them
That's,
to.
that's an SLA thing, so
Exactly.
they need to abide by, when they apply for it, they need to know what they have to do when they apply for it. And I don't think it'd be fair to give it to Chris.
I think I know what they knew what they had.
Yeah.
From the application. to
Yeah,
the door.
they knew what-
To the door.
They just.
I think we need to let the applicant know, because if they want to come to the meeting and
Yeah.
speak on it and address some of the concerns that that have been voiced.
But to Harry's point, I think we should make that part of our request,
Mine-
perhaps. You know, we're asking for the certificate, right? We're asking for the certificate of occupancy. We should also ask for proof of compliance with the notice provision. Because that has come up. This is not the first time.
Exactly.
So then, well, we should revise the questionnaire,
questionnaire.
add that into it.
Yeah,
It can be added at the end, at the last page, it can be added another point.
yeah. please.
Among other requests that we put it at the end, one of them is a certificate of occupancy, the menu, and a quick diagram of how it looks. The fourth point should request that we need proof that you notify the public, or just, something to that extent.
Yeah, adherence to the public notification as requested by SLA.
Yeah,
Any other comments from anyone?
Oh, we closed the meeting already.
I was trying.
I know.
It's a meeting, it's adjourned.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
7:40 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
Have a good night.
It looks
Take
like.
care.
Over there.
So.